Hello everyone. I'm going to start today the topic of C programming for college first year students. Now, if you are an engineering student, in every engineering course, in the first year, you will be facing one computer science programming language course, and mostly it is C programming. So, I have given you one set of uh, from one of the colleges syllabus here for C programming. Now, you can see it here. It is unit 1 is about introduction to C, then control structures, then little bit there are advanced concepts like arrays and pointers, structures and unions. So today I'm taking the first part, which is data types, C data types, constants and variables. Now, basically, what in C programming language we need to or in case of any programming language, we can store information in two ways. We can hard code the information, we can write the information in the program itself. So there we use the literals. So what kind of information we can store in a program? So to store the type of information, the information uh, can be of what type? It can be of um, numeric type. And in numeric, we have two categories. This numeric information can be of um, either it's a float type, okay, float, or it's a integer type. First, I say integer type, or or decimal, or a float or decimal type. Float. So where what is float is basically the real numbers in which we have decimal point. And the other type of information which we can store in computers are the characters, okay, different kind of characters which can be possible. And then we call one more type is which is the string. So one more is the string or text which we want to store. And finally, one more type which we call it's a Boolean type, the information which can be either true and false. Okay. So string or this type. So first we are going to see how we can store this kind of information in our program. So let's go to our ID. Before we go to ID, let's see some kind of information which we want to store. So what is the type of information? So let's see. So here we have the information. Let's see, this is the information. And this is the what we call is the type of the information which and it's a value of this is the information type. Okay, let's see, this is the type and this is the information which we want to store. So let's see, for students, roll number is one of the information. So anything like somebody has roll number 15. Name, let's see someone's name, which will be a string type. So this is John. Okay. Then maybe some value which we want to store. Okay. So, okay, let's say value of pi. Okay. Which is 3.14. Now let's see, there is another kind of information. Let's see some big number which we want to store. So let's see distance between um, sun and earth. Okay. So it will be somewhere 150 and then we put 6 zeros. Hopefully it's correct. Okay. And it doesn't matter. We just mean a bigger number. And then we have some value which is slightly bigger is information is okay, which is what we call is mole. Okay, 1 mole or 1 mole value, which is somewhere I think 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. Okay, so this is the value of mole. So So 6.02 to the power 23. Okay, so this information we need to store in our programming. Okay, so how we can store this information and we can print this information. One simple way is putting this information here in this. If you see this one, this is a printf statement, and where we can put this information and we can store it. So, so the first information is, let's see, we want to print the name. So name is this. So name we want is here. The name information of the name we want to be here. What kind of information of name we want to print in here. Second information which we want to print is the, no, first we have to print the roll number. Okay. So let's see right here one more. Printf. It's a roll number. It's a roll number. Then we have a name. Then we have taken a value of pi. Okay. Value of pi is, let's see, we want to place it here. Then we have one more information, which is the distance between sun and earth. This is, let's see, here we want to place this information. And remember, in C, after every printf is the most important statement for printing the values. And after every statement, you need to put a semicolon. And it is printf. Okay. Then we have one more information, which is the value of 1 mole. Okay, 1 mole information, which we want to store it here. Okay. Now, obviously, we have just now seen what the values are there. So how we can store these values here? Okay. So one way, if we try to hard code it, we just put it here. 15. Okay. John 3.14. This is somewhere I've written as 150 and then put 6 zeros. Okay. It doesn't matter here. And here, the information is here how we can show this thing. 23.0 is not very difficult. It's not very easy to show. Okay. So just for the time being, we write this as in programming languages, we write E 23, which means basically E is basically 10 to the power of 23, can be written like this. Okay. So let me run this code. So you can see one of the issues first, so it's a very simple program. Very directly we have put the values, but the values are not going to the next line. Okay, they are all in same line. So to place the value in the next line, after every line after printing that line, we have to press the enter key. So for programming, this enter key is with this special escape character, new line character. Okay. So this new line character, we can paste it in every statement. And you see, now after this, if we run this code, we're getting the values like here, like this. Okay. Okay, now this is program is okay, fine. It's printing the values, but we need to store these values, not just simply printing, but we have to store these values in variables. So to store these values in variables, we need some type of variables to store the information. Okay, so this basically what we have done is all literals are there. So we can print these literals, all these literals, not here, but again, we can print these literals separately here. So how we can use this literal outside and we can print it. Okay. So let me first copy this thing to show you this first code to directly printing here. Everything we have printed as string. So this is the first one and its output is this much. Okay, this is the output. Okay, so output is this. Okay, so I hope you understood how to print information directly. Okay, but let's see, we have to print this literal information, not all as a string. This is all within double quote. Whatever we write is a string. Now we want to print this information outside. Okay, for example, I want to print the name, roll number here. So for printing the roll number here, remember we have different kind of, for different type of informations, we have different types of placeholders. Okay, so before we go for writing this code, I just tell you the basic placeholders for the information. So here we have the, what we call is the data type or type of information, or we simply say or data type. Okay, this is also the term which we need to know. And what is the placeholder? Okay, so the placeholder for storing this information, or this folder. So if the information is an integer type, we use %d. If it is a type of information which is a text or string, we use %s. If it is a long integer, means it's a big number. Okay, so we write %ld. Then if we have a decimal value, okay, real number or float or real value, real number. So here the real number is a smaller one, then we use a float. And if it is a very bigger number like your mole, okay, double, okay, double is also real number, okay, with a higher precision, okay, then in that case we need a double. This is also a kind of a real number. So here, oh, this will be %f and this will be %lf. Okay. Okay. So let's see in this program how we are going to store this information. We can see our roll number is, we are going to give our roll number as 15. So the placeholder, this is, let's see, the placeholder where we are going to store the information, and this curly braces is not required. Okay. So I just to show in each of the cases how this information is to be placed here also and here also. Okay. So let's start with the first one. So here we want to store the name. Okay. So name is to be roll number, which is 15 here, or %d. So %d will be replaced by 15. Then we have a name. Okay. Name will be %s, and we will put it here, the name, which is John. Okay. Then we have a value of pi, which is again a float type decimal value. So %f, and we write 3.14. Then distance between Earth and Sun, which is 150, and then oh, this is percentage. It's a long number, so it's %LD. This number is 150, and then put 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 0. Let's see. And one more, again, it's a big number. So for it's a decimal number, but with a lot of uh, you can see zeros. So we can write this as LF. Okay. And this time we will write this thing as 6.022 e to the power of 23. Okay. So this is what is the mole number. Okay. So let's see how we are going to do this part. Okay. So let's execute this code. So let me execute it once. So you can see we have printed all the values here. So we have got the roll number is 15, name is John, the value of pi, which is printed, is 3.14. Okay, there are other ways by which we can even restrict the values, okay, not to give so many values like this, so many, okay. And the distance between Earth and Sun and Earth, is like this, and 1 mole is this value, okay, in scientific notation. So this is the value which is there. Okay, we are not going to use a lot of program counting like this, but this is how we can store the information. Okay, so firstly, we have understood how to put it directly. Now, how to use the literals and to do this code. Okay, now after doing this thing, so let me copy these examples. Okay, so here is the example, and its code will be, its output is here. So this is the output of this code. Okay, so now see, this is the second stage where we're putting the information. But again, we have to go to the next stage where we are going to store this information in the variables. Okay, so basically, in C programming, or like in any programming, variables, basically variables, these are the names of these are the names of the memory locations where values are stored. Okay, so using the variables, we can name this information in, we can store the values in memory. And so instead of just printing it directly, first we will store these values in variables, and then we will print it. Okay, so again, for variables, we need first the declaration of the variables. Okay, declaration of variable basically means you have to tell what is the data type of the variable. Okay, so you have to tell the data type of the variable, then you have to tell the variable name. Okay, and if you want, this is not immediately required, but if you know, like in our case, we know you can give the, which is optional, so you can give the value. Okay, in later stages, when we do not know, we can accept the value from the user. But in this stage, we know the values, so we will put the values, we will take the values directly in this variables. Okay. So what are the data types in which, and the type of information will decide what is the data type which is required to store the value. So let me come again. So here is the data type, and here is the information value which we want to store. So the data type, the information is of type of, let's say, data type is, this is int. Okay. So int will store the type of value which is of integer type. Okay. Again, there is another one which is long, which also store the value which is of long integer. Okay. Long integer, just simply understand it's a bigger number. Okay. Like age of a person, it may be coming within smaller value, but long integer is there. There is a memory requirement, how much space, and it depends sometimes vary to vary, system to system. Basically, int is a shorter one. This is a 2 bytes, and long is a 4 byte. So, and based on that, the size of the value is what size of value you can store will depend. Then we have a float, which can store a floating number. Okay, so floating number is basically decimal number, floating number, and then we have a double, and that double is again we can say is a bigger floating number. Okay, and then we have one more, which is char, which can store a character. Okay, and how to store a string? So basically, for storing string, we need something like this square bracket, which is we call is the character array. Here we can store a string. Okay, so a string, or what we call the text information. Right. So these are the different data type which we will require for the variables. And remember, there are three simple things. Variable names should be variable names should be consist of variables names. Okay, variable names name should be consist of consists of alphabets and digits, and only underscore is the name consists of alphabets and digit, and it allows only underscore, okay, underscore, which is this character as special character, special character. Okay, so this is what is there, and it should start. It should not start with a. It should not start with a digit, and no spaces are allowed. No spaces are allowed. This much is good enough for your understanding of. So variable names consist of alphabets and digit. It allows only underscore as a special character, and it should not start with a digit, and no spaces are allowed. Okay. So let's come back to our program which we are doing. Now we want to store the roll number. So we take a variable name. So let's see roll number, and we know the value 15. We have done here. Now the name. So name here, there are two ways. If we know what is the maximum size which we are going to store, we can put it. And if we are not, we can leave it like this. So it is going to store the name in this way. Now we have the value of pi, which is a float. Okay. So let's see, pi is equal to 3.14. The distance between sun and this thing. So let's see, this is long, and distance is equal to, in this case, we've given 150. Let's accept this auto, and this mole value, which is in double, we can write it. Okay, even there is a one which is called long double, okay, which can store a bigger number. So let's see, we can say long double. Okay, there's a double, there's a long double also, which can store even a bigger number. So we can write it here. Okay, so this double, we can insert one here. So this is long double. So it's a bigger floating number, okay? So, so here we come. And in this long double, we are going to store the mole. So mole is equal to, let's say, 6.022. And this is, you can write capital E, also small e. So let's say capital E to the power of 23. Okay. So this is thing. Now we will replace all these values by the um, variables which we have written, name, and this is a value of pi. This is the distance. Okay, distance, we take it here. And then we are coming to the next one, which is here, is the mole, right? So if everything is fine, we will get the same kind of output here. So we have stored the values in the variable. So let's see. Okay, I'll leave one more thing. We put it here, character, which is a single character, which is a gender. So let's the gender be male here. We have to put this thing in single quote, remember. Numbers are written without any kind of quotations. Okay, depending on the type of the number, if it is an integer, smaller integer, so int will do. But if it's a bigger number, you need a long integer. So long int is also written, but normally now long int and int is same. So you can write long and long double. You can use it for a very bigger number. Otherwise, double is also okay. And float and double basically stores real numbers and numbers having decimal point. Okay. So let's run this code again and see what output we are getting. Okay. So for everything, we have got the values except for the value of the mole, which is coming to 0. Okay. So let's see, we put it double only. So let's see, is it double is dim? Yeah, with the double, the value is coming. Okay. So we generally do not need, but if you are that kind of a bigger value, but let's see, this is the way by which we can store the value. Okay. So this is how we have stored the different values, and we have got the same result in this case also. Uh, uh, Let me see if with the scientific notation. Okay, we have a scientific notation for this one. For scientific notation, if we want to store this thing, so instead of writing this thing, we can write this could be written in capital E or small e. So let's see, we use small e, and let's see where now how this thing looks like. So it is working now perfectly. So you can see the information which is there in scientific notation. It has also, we can see now this information is coming e to the power 23. So this is what we can see. So there are different like format specifier for storing the different types of numbers. Okay, so but basically if you have a double number, okay, which a bigger number is that, so then you can use so double storing this kind of a number, but with this scientific notation you are getting this answer exactly what how to print this thing. So here we have got the various specifiers, so we can add one for scientific notation. Okay, uh, so scientific notation or exponential, okay, which we can say this, we can say this as a exponential scientific notation floating point number. So we can write this as a percentage e, okay, or capital E will also do. So let me copy this code. So this is the example, okay, and its output is here. This is the output of this one. So we have got this output here. Okay, so you can see we have so basically what we have understood in this particular session is how we can store the information in a C program. The one way we can directly print the information, that's not the very right thing. But if we have any kind of information which we want to store, so we need different kind of placeholders, basically integers, strings, float, and double, and the scientific notation. Then we can, in printf statement, we can put those placeholders where we want that information to be replaced. And the other way is to store the values in variables, and then you can, using the variables, you can print the information. Okay, so I think for this is just a simple way to tell you how to store the programming. Information is there, so there's lots more to come, and I would like you to follow the videos, upcoming videos, so that you will get a complete understanding of C programming language. And I'm trying to complete this entire C programming course for college students. Okay, and you can I have provided links in my information there where from where you can contact me if you want to personally want to study this course. Okay, that is one. And secondly, I would like you to subscribe my channel, and at least and tell other students, those who are interested in programming, to uh, go through these videos. I hope it will be very great for all of you. Okay, so I think this is the end. Thank you very much.